South Asia boasts one of the highest rates of irrigated agriculture in the world, estimated at 40% of the total cultivated area. But with the region's population growing at a fast pace, the subcontinent faces significant water shortages, posing a serious threat to agriculture.
If you have a good amount of water, the harvest will be good, so the crops in turn will be good, and we will make money out of them. That's why water is the most important thing. For us, if there is no water, then our land is of no use.
It perceives that we have scarcity, but in reality we have bad management. We have barrier to transfer of water. We have inefficient allocation.
Water is vital to any living being. Regular availability and access to water is essential for agriculture in South Asia to sustain itself and prosper. We will see in India and Pakistan how efficient water use management, proper allocation of water, rejuvenation of old techniques and adoption of new ones can help resolve the water crisis. In the northern Indian state of Uttar Pradesh, the NGO International Development Enterprise India, or IDEI, has decided to go directly to the farmer. This strange convoy goes door to door, or rather village to village, on a mission to reach the most remote people. Today, this salesman will try to convince these villagers of the merits of an innovative new tool that's being marketed by the NGO, a low-cost, foot-operated water pump.
How does it work? You set up the stretcher and then you go on top of the stretcher and you start pedaling like a cycle, and then the water will start flowing. How much water? At least 1 or 2 inches of water.
Made of 4 bamboo rods and relying on a simple mechanism, the KB pump is relatively cheap and most importantly requires no electricity. IDEI also develops a local supply chain by identifying and training individual entrepreneurs to sell, install and ensure after-sales maintenance of the pumps.
Earlier, we were not able to produce anything because we didn't have that much money. So we could only rent out water every week or every 2 weeks. Now we use this KB pump every day. The fields don't get dry because we irrigate them daily.
To reach a large rural audience, the NGO holds screenings of Bollywood-style educational films about the micro-irrigation tool in villages.
I came from my village to see and understand how this works, and I quite like it. It's cheap, it's only 750 rupees.
Initiatives like foot-operated pumps are helping many smallholder farmers in India. But in the country's water-scarce regions, more drastic measures are often necessary for agriculture to prosper.
A very large number of water bodies which existed, wetlands which existed, have fallen prey either to disuse or they've been encroached upon, especially in urban areas. These need to be brought back.
In the district of Alwar, in the western state of Rajasthan, farmers have done just that. Here, agriculture and livelihood in general has been brought back to life thanks to the rejuvenation of century-old water reservoirs which are dried up.
I can't tell you about the whole of Rajasthan, but I can tell you about Alwar. This is a hilly area. Earlier, there was no drought, so there was enough water. But after that, In the last 40 years, there's been a lot of problems. There was a drought and a lot of animals died because there was not enough grass. So people took their animals and left this place. People didn't have crops and there was no work, so they left for the cities. Those reservoirs which were made earlier, the mud and sand went into them, and there was no maintenance, so the water could not be stored.
Storing and distributing water efficiently to irrigate the region anew has been the main objective of the NGO Tarun Bharat Sangh, which has worked relentlessly towards that goal for the last 27 years.
तरुण भारत संघ यहाँ 1985 में
We came to this area in 1985 when it was known as a dark zone for droughts. Young people would leave and only small children and women would stay because there was no water.
केवल थोड़े से बच्चे और बूढ़े लोग बचे थे क्योंकि पानी नहीं था तो पानी मीलों मील दूर से पीने का पानी लेके आते थे 1985 में शुरू किया था
My first project was completed in 1988. After that, there was a very good monsoon and the river was full. There were reserves, so all the wells in the villages were full of water. People started farming again. All the people who went to the cities, who were sick and unemployed, started coming back and working here.
तो हमारे सारे कुएं पानी से लबालब हो गए। जब कुओं में पानी आ गया तो फिर लोग खेती करने लगे। शहरों से लोग जो मजबूरी में माइग्रेट करके गए थे यहाँ से, जिनकी ज़िंदगी में लाचारी थी, बेकारी थी और बीमारी थी, वो लोग वापस पानी आने के साथ-साथ यहाँ आए।
Since launching its first project in 1985, the Tarun Bharat Sangh has repaired more than 10,000 reservoirs and revived 7 rivers. Opening functioning canals and using pipe and drip irrigation, farmers in Alwar are now saving water. Farmers have also formed a parliament of water, regulating water use by establishing rules and regulations in a democratic way.
We are really moving from an era where there was an engineered system that tried to prescribe use and to provide access to water in a prescribed, predetermined manner, to systems that is decentralized, and there is a local authority that represent the farmers and allows them more flexibility and redistribution of the water among the farmers.
In eastern Maharashtra, near the city of Nashik, farmers have understood the benefits of such a decentralized system. The Waghad Dam, which dates back to the British Raj, delivers water to thousands of farmers. Tired of inefficient distribution, they decided to form water user associations, or WUAs, to get directly involved in the management of the dam.
Earlier, when the water allotment was done by the government, we used to get 2 rotations of water per season. In 2 rotations, you could not know who got water and who didn't. Not even 10% of the irrigation was done properly. But when the system came into the hands of the farmers, they started to run the dam themselves, and there was a lot of improvement. Today, the dam irrigates 10,000 hectares of land directly and indirectly.
There are 24 water user associations in Waghad, which meets the needs of 15,000 farmers. Each farmer contributes to the maintenance of the dam and makes a collective demand for how much water they need to the head office.
Earlier, we used to get irrigation through the government, but we didn't get a guarantee on the amount of water. Earlier, through the government, we used to get water only twice a year, and now we get it 4 or 5 times a year.
Volumetric measurement
We do a volumetric measurement of the dam, and we distribute water according to that. Because of this, the lifestyle of the farmers has changed. The main reason for that is the concept of irrigation management. Before the implementation of this association, farmers used to earn about 25,000 per hectare yearly. But since the implementation, farmers earn 2.5 lakhs. It has changed so much.
The quantity of the water distributed and the number of hours each outlet will remain open is decided in the Wagad office. Once this is agreed upon, the farmers are confident that their needs will be met, giving them an incentive to participate and pay their dues on time.
It's very difficult to manage hundreds of thousands of customers. So a good system of water basically operates through corporations. There is a regional water user association that is representing the local farmer and is interacting with the bigger system.
Proper irrigation canals and inclusive delivery systems must go hand in hand with the adoption of efficient new technologies which help save on water. Not far from Wagad, some farmers have adopted drip irrigation with considerable success, switching to more profitable crops. Vikram grows different types of roses in poly houses using a sophisticated irrigation system.
ये हमारे poly house का irrigation system है. This is from cock. ये हमें start करते हैं. This is 2 cock. This is for the only dripper. This is for foggers. ये पानी आता है from Wagad से.
All this water comes from Wagad canals. We put the canal water in the wells, and from the well we pump the water out and bring it to the drip irrigation system right here.
Drip irrigation के लिए लाते हैं. Drip irrigation से हमें जितना चाहिए उतना.
Now with drip irrigation we can easily do it with just 5,000 liters of water, nothing more.
5,000 liters ही हम save करते हैं.
When we used to water openly, we needed 50,000 liters daily.
Because they now get a regular outflow of water from the Wagad Dam, farmers like Vikram are able to apply new technologies efficiently and diversify their crops. From 35,000 rupees a year for wheat, Vikram is now earning close to 8 times that amount with his roses.
Drip irrigation का special purpose.
The benefit of drip irrigation is that each plant gets the exact amount of water that it needs. This is a line, the head and tail, so it can be done precisely through drip irrigation.
If you go to any of our villages, you'll see that they practice a system which you call flood irrigation. They just flood the field, which is the common traditional practice that, okay, water is there, you flood the field and the crops will grow. That's very wasteful. What we would like to do is use modern methods, micro irrigation, drip irrigation, sprinkler irrigation.
The southern province of Sindh in Pakistan. Here, farmers face similar problems as the ones in Wagad and many other regions of South Asia. A harsh climate compounded by an inefficient and unequal distribution of water.
For next month, my crops will remain dry. This is an indication of water shortage in this area's wells. Usually water release from our area continues for 4 days, and there is no water for the next 24 days. Today, water discharge will be suspended and be restored after only 26 days.
In due course, when the water comes to us, the first problem we face is not getting our due share, which is taken away all through from the ones coming before us. The second problem is the unfair distribution. there is a lot of corruption in the irrigation department. So even the due share that we do get and comes to us does not get to the actual tail ender.
Rich and influential landlords often use an excessive amount of water at the expense of poor farmers at the end of the line. To help these tail-end farmers to cope with this situation, some NGOs are encouraging them to use drip and sprinkler irrigation in order to maximize usage of the precious little water they do get.
There is no water at all, and availability of water by any means is the only solution. And if our water problem is solved, then we don't need anything more. But without water, or with less water, we will need drip irrigation system. Water shortages increase every year, and we believe that in the next 20 years, we will have no canal water at all. That drip irrigation will be the last hope for our agriculture.
If we use the canal water in the flood irrigation system, 1 acre inch, if we give the water requires 1,25,000 liters. But in drip irrigation system, for 1 acre, we use only 45 to 40,000 liters.
The adoption of new technologies that maximize the utilization of water could be a salvation for the region. But for now, they remain expensive and inaccessible to those that need them the most. Okay.
We are introducing sprinklers, we are introducing the new drip irrigation system, but all this needs a lot of investment, and maybe I can afford it, but majority cannot afford it.
For the poor farmers of Sindh, the best bet is still to unite to take control of the management of water. A few well-off landowners try to use their clout and resources to help farmers of their area.
I have got all the tail enders to come up and to organize the system and the timing, because we do not get, even where we have water, we do not get water at a stretch. Some places we get water after every 40 days.
The big problem in water globally is that people don't manage water, and therefore they perceive as if we have a water scarcity and there be new resources. But if we will introduce a pricing mechanism, allocate water to areas where they produce a lot of value, we will do better.
In South Asia, water is still not allocated properly, and many farmers struggle to irrigate their fields. Encouraging more decentralization and local management, a fairer system of distribution, as well as the use of new irrigation techniques that help save water, will be the key to sustainable agriculture in the region.